Welcome to another episode of last week's Comics Today. It is a small week, and I think next week is going to be even smaller, but that is future me's problem. So let's get straight into this, and we're going to start with Northern Blood, issue 4. This is the end of the miniseries. Back, I think, when I was talking about issue 3, which came out of order. 3 before issue 2. I had heard that this was going to get a volume 2, and now I'm hearing that that is delayed because the artist is working on another project. I don't know any additional details beyond that. I can't even imagine what time period this takes place in. This took place in World War II, but I don't know. Would they go more modern or continue this or do a prequel? I am very curious to see it, though, and I'll probably buy it because this was great. So this is, as I said, the end of a 4-issue series of Nazis and American versus some Viking zombies. And look, if that doesn't entice you, then I don't know what will. But I will show off some of the art, which is great. So there you go. It's good. It's good. You should grab it. You should read it. There is a collection coming up, and I would recommend grabbing that. Hopefully that one page from issue, I want to say 3, gets fixed. Otherwise, it's good. I don't have anything else to say. Highly enjoyable. Up next we have Dead Romans issue 3. I believe this is a 6-issue series, so by the end of this we are halfway through, and I am thoroughly enjoying this. The art, as always, spectacular. But this is a story of local German tribes versus a column of Roman legionnaires that are traveling through their territory, and it is highly enjoyable. I did look up one of these characters, not that guy, Arminius, and I learned that there was some type of TV adaptation of this basic story. I want to say that was called The Barbarians, and now I'm curious to watch that. I don't know if I will or if I even have access to it. It's great. Highly recommended. This is, it's action heavy. There's a lot of fighting in it. There's a bit of mystery. There's betrayal, for sure. It's just really good. Highly recommended. It did, however, not get Pick of the Week. That honor goes to Harrower, issue 4. This is the end of the series, and if I had thought about Justin Jordan as a writer, I would probably have guessed how this was going to end. I was going back and forth about whether or not this was going to be a good ending, and by that, I don't mean a well ending. It does end well. It's just not necessarily a good ending, if you can suss out the difference there. This is excellent. Highly recommended. I've recommended every issue of this, and has been a spectacular read from beginning to end. There, again, should be a collection coming soon. I recommend grabbing that, and I hope Jordan does more. I know he's working on... He's doing a webtoon. He's doing something, which I've never tried, but I've always enjoyed Jordan's work, and I would like to see more of it printed. I don't read much digitally, but this is great. Also, I flipped through it a couple of times, and every time I'm like, oh, I shouldn't show any of this, but it's phenomenal. Highly recommend. Lastly, for the new books that came out this week, we have Supermassive. This is a crossover for the Radiant Black variety of titles. It's Radiant Black, Pink, Rogue Sun, and Dead Lucky, or Lucky Dead? Lucky number 11? I liked Higgins, particularly when he was doing Batman Beyond 2.0. Back in the early to mid 2010s. So ever since then, I've checked out Higgins whenever I get the opportunity. I read the preview pages for Radiant Black. It didn't hook me. It seemed very Dark Hawk. But I was hoping that it was going to be an Invincible situation where I didn't like the beginning, but maybe I would like it down the line, and I've never tried it since then. I jumped in here, possibly a mistake, but I don't know. What I will say is this just dumps you into the world. There isn't much information for new readers, I would say. There's not much introducing any of these people. I do get a great sense of who they are, but and I don't like most of them as characters, I'll say that. So I'm not, based on this, going to get into the Massive verse, I believe it's called. I do, however, have a question. So this was supposed to be an image shared universe, and I think it's all based on the creative teams, but I gotta ask, because I think the answer is obvious, but this is Spawn, right? Clearly. I mean, look at the boot, look at that skull. Who else does a skull like that? That is straight up Spawn. So that was very surprising. I don't know if it will be a shared universe beyond the Massive, if it's going to start incorporating other characters. I have no idea. But Kirkman is also soliciting about a shared universe coming out in June, so I have no idea what's happening. But as far as the Massive stuff goes, the Radiant and ancillary titles, I'm steering clear. I tried it. I can't get into it. The last comic in this stack is The Great British Bump Off. This is issue 1. It came out a while back. Actually, Sketch Night John grabbed this. I knew that he had bought it. I asked him, because I had so few this week, I asked him about it. He happened to have it on him. He let me borrow it. I asked him whether or not it was good. He said he only read about half of it. And having read it myself, I now understand. It is, I don't think, that great as far as the writing goes. The art, however, is very crisp. The art is worthy of compliments. Everyone is very expressive. It's very clean. Art's great. At the core, what this is these 12 characters are part of a cooking show. It doesn't really... This is blown up. It's all pixely. That's weird. Yeah, it should have been a higher res. Anyway, there's a cooking show. And I think it tells you the name of it. Yeah, it's the UK Bakery Tent, which is whatever. Look, I haven't watched any of the modern era of cooking show. I haven't really watched the cooking show since the first version of Iron Chef. I get the concept. I don't also watch reality shows, but I understand the basic premise, the setup. This is a cooking show. There are 12 contestants. There's also a host, and the co-host is a cat, which is weird because the cat gets more dialogue than some of the characters, which I don't think is a smart move. But anyway, somebody is poisoned. One of the contestants gets poisoned, and she elects herself to solve the mystery. It's weird. So it's a mystery baked within a cooking show. But none of it is well set up. You don't really know who any of the characters are. Some of them get a bit more developed than others, but not really, I think, enough for any of them. And as I said, the cat gets more screen time than some of these 12, which not great. But also, like, none of the show is set up. We're just supposed to pick it up from context clues, I guess, which is sometimes fine. It was a tough read. It did not grab my interest. I certainly will not be continuing this. The art, however, check out whatever they do next. Max Sarin? Yeah, whatever Max Sarin does next, check that out. Not this. So that is everything that I got this week. And despite 2 duds, I mean, these 3 were excellent, and these 2, whatever. But these three, all great. Harrower, as I said, is my pick of the week. It's phenomenal. However, just grab the trades for all of these if you haven't been getting the single issues, and if you do have interest, then, as I said, just grab the trades. All of this should be available. As always, I get my comics from a local comic shop. If you don't know where yours is, you can use this URL to find the one closest to you. Thanks for watching.